Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, our praises, honor, and the glory shall go to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham, Rakakudash, Brakatham. Double honor shall go to apostles, elders, and bishops, a great millstone to continue to teach and to rule well. Shalom to the Akims, a great millstone of like-minded camps and individuals who continue to teach as one body, who continue to be out on the highways and byways, risking their lives for the greater good. Shalom to the sincere Akwats who are continuously learning in silence, as the Holy Scriptures have commanded for you to do so. And also shalom to the true believers and subscribers of this true gospel, for this should be considered a true blessing from the higher power. This is Azariah Gabar, representing the King is Coming channel, back at it with another lesson for edification purposes. All right, so Abaratazat, I'm going to touch on this subject that's becoming increasingly more startling to the mass population. All right. So this video is pretty much of an extension to a prior video that I put out several days ago, which was called No More Grinding. And the same character you see here on the screen from the Snyder reports, okay? You know, I'm just passing this on to Jakes, that is definitely now becoming more and more evident or fact that universal basic income is going to be ushered in very soon. So that's going to be the title for today's lesson, Universal Basic Income. All right. And it's ironic that as I was setting up, my equipment to convey this video, guess what? I was watching my TV on CNN, and there was a news report about AI replacing doctors. Okay? So again, this is real talk. All right? Because soon your nursing degrees and your medical degrees will be for naught. You heard? That's how serious things are getting. And not only in Babylon the Great, but globally as well. So, with that being said, I will play this video in its entirety, but before I do so, as always, fair use of the 1976 Copyright Act. For this video is strictly for education and edification purposes only. I'm not making a dime off this video. You heard? So Abaratazah, play this video, then pull up some precepts to support what I'm talking about, and we'll close it out. Let's go.
What if I told you that guaranteed income is now being discussed? And it's not because cryptocurrency sold off. It's not because we saw a little drop in the stock market. No. What lawmakers are concerned with right now is jobs. Jobs are disappearing faster than we expected. And it all has to do with AI. Look at this. It says layoffs in January were the highest to start a year since 2009. That is from the recent Challenger report. But it's how we lost these jobs, who lost their job, and why did they lose their job. I want to play you a clip. Listen to this right here.
AI is no longer an abstract threat. It's causing job loss right now, and the headlines, they tell the story. The Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, on Wednesday released a study that found that artificial intelligence can already replace 11.7% of the U.S. labor market, or as much as 1.2 trillion in wages across finance, healthcare, and professional services.
This destroys your prostate. This destroys your prostate. This destroys your prostate. Ugh.
What?
Shut up.
Over $1 trillion, okay? Over $1 trillion that AI can replace. Here's the problem with this. What happens when we lose all that money? That means consumer spending collapses. Rent and mortgage defaults will be on the rise. There'll be social unrest, okay? The federal government is going to be hurt because the tax revenue is going to dry up. Now, is this one of the reasons why President Trump is opting for tariffs and why he hasn't actually reversed course? Some say yes, that could be the reason why. Now, I want to read you something though. Look at this right here. It says the U.S. is headed for mass unemployment and no one is prepared. Over the past week, we have heard from Amazon that they are going to replace people. They are going to experience a massive layoff event, and well, those people will be replaced with AI. We know the same thing is going to happen to many of.
All right. So, again, fair warning, especially to you woman out there that wants to be still high maintenance. All right. There ain't no man can step to you unless you're making 6 figures a year. Stop the BS. You only are being delusional at this point. Okay? And even to the men, the brothers, the Akims. You know, like I've been seeing videos lately about these dudes. They poor. Their credit scores is like in the 400s. But yet they're buying or attempted to buy $100,000 Hellcat Chargers, right? Those Dodge Charger cars. Still want to try to impress people. Okay? And especially these women. Forget about it. Okay? Forget about it. It's not going to happen. Because universal basic income is going to replace whatever income that you are currently receiving. Let's put it that way, okay? And it's going to be a low amount per month. Trust. It's going to probably be like being on Social Security. All right? Let's go.
Companies. When a big company like Amazon or Meta or Walmart does a move like this, everyone else listens and everyone notices. Once it goes through and they see the results, if they're successful, other companies follow suit. I want to play some for you. Listen to this right here.
Report by the McKinsey Global Institute finding that AI could displace 40% of American jobs due to automation by 2030. That analysis found that robots and AI agents could automate more than half of U.S. work hours, both manual and cognitive.
They're predicted by 2030. That's only 4 years away. Okay? So keep that in mind. Let's continue.
Using technology that's available today if companies redesign how they'll do things in the future. The World Economic Forum projecting that 92 million jobs worldwide may be displaced by 2030. Ford's CEO saying that AI could replace half of all white-collar workers there. NYU professor Scott Galloway predicting that AI will hit middle management first, noting that 6% dropped in managers at public companies since 2022.
Okay. So you see all these predictions. Elon Musk has been saying this for years. And we've been hearing from many lawmakers that are saying the exact same thing. That AI is ramping up our efforts to possibly provide a guaranteed income. Now, I want to show you something. Look at this right here. Okay, so this was just from a week or so ago. It says universal basic income is needed to cushion blow from AI job losses, says the UK minister, Lord Jason Stockwood. Now, why am I bringing this to your attention? Why does the United States care about what the UK is doing? The UK is going to give us a good idea of what we need to do. Okay, I want to read something to you. It says universal basic income isn't being discussed because politicians suddenly became generous. No, it's being discussed because AI is breaking the job market faster than the government can fix it. So here's what we could see. We could see universal basic income. We could also see more regulation for AI, where we do not allow AI to go and replace 50% of our workforce. But by doing so, would we actually hold the United States back and we could not compete with the other countries? That's the concern. I want to read something else to you, though.
Oh, hell yeah, that they're going to push AI as far as Babylon is concerned. Why? Because you got these other nations like Moab or China, okay? Gog and Magog or Russia. Listen, Babylon has to stay competitive with these other nations. So of course they're going to push AI to its fullest potential, all right? So that's good for them, bad for you guys, especially you Jakes. Let's continue.
Yes. It says, jobs used to be safe, okay? White collar jobs were safe. Entry level jobs, especially in the office environment, were safe. Customer service was safe. Data analysis was safe. Healthcare, law enforcement, finance, just law in general. All these things were safe. Now they say, not so much. AI could replace millions of jobs. But here's the question. Okay, here's the big question. Now, this isn't ideal. Providing universal basic income is a way to keep the economy somewhat stable and breathing while the labor market kind of rewrites itself. Think about the pandemic, for instance. Think about, when all these businesses were shutting down. The federal government had to step in and provided, in a sense, universal basic income. They provided enhanced unemployment benefits to the tune of $600 additionally per week. They provided PPP loans, which again, the PPP loans didn't have to be paid back. They provided the EIDL loans. They provided stimulus checks. Okay, $1,200. What was it? $600, $1,400. They provided all that money. But why? It wasn't something that was going to be a long-term thing. It was going to be temporary. That's the big difference. But the real question is this.
My friend, but you got to realize that back in the C19, era, right? That C19 era with those stimulus checks back then, that was merely a test run from back then as far as universal basic income, all right? That was a test run that was conducted by the government. So guess what? Now that they've done that, now they know what they should or shouldn't do, all right? They were able to tweak whatever imperfections that took place back then, because remember, it was a lot of fraudulent activity that took place back then. Okay? So once they figured out how to correctly to push forward this universal basic income, well, now it's going to truly come into fruition. Let's continue.
Or questions. First off, who qualifies? Anybody that is laid off, or anybody that's laid off as a result of AI? Is it how much is going to be the guaranteed money? And can people survive off this? Or will it be like a supplemental income that you have to go and find some other work in order to make your full income? Again, we don't know that. Well, how long is temporary? Will it be for 6 months? Will it be for a year? This is the big question, because we don't know how long it will take for AI to be implemented here in the United States. We don't know, right? We have no clue. We've been using AI for more than a year. We've been using it for quite some time, but it was just recently that all these companies decided, you know what, we are going to lay off 8,000 employees. We are going to lay off 15,000 employees here and 2,000 here because, well, we're going to transition to artificial intelligence. That's what they're now telling us. So what's most important about this video here is.
And another thing, we're heading into the fourth industrial revolution. And I did a video about that a while back. So for those individuals who have not seen that video, as far as the fourth industrial revolution, I highly recommend that you check it out once you get an opportunity to do so. Because this is where we're at right now, the fourth industrial revolution. The merging of man and machine. Let's continue.
We are hearing the talks. Politicians are now coming together and saying, yes, we are talking. Because we don't know what's going to happen. But we do know that we are losing jobs faster than we are able to create new ones. Now, here's where things get interesting. Okay, very interesting. We are going to see people lose their job because of AI. And we know AI is going to be sweeping across the entire world, not just the United States. Every single person is going to be impacted. But, and this is why I say, and lawmakers are saying that this could be temporary, is because AI is likely going to replace millions of jobs. But when AI replaces those jobs, there will likely be new jobs created.
I don't know what he's talking about, because this is permanent. This is a permanent fixture. Artificial intelligence, the fourth industrial revolution. So I disagree with him on that.
As a result of AI, and it's working successfully. Here's the issue. We haven't gone through that yet. We are only laying people off now and replacing those jobs with AI. So we don't know what new jobs are going to come out of this as a result of AI being successful. So we're going to see layoffs, and mass layoffs are going to come. Then with that, we are going to see AI replace those workers. But when AI replaces those workers, it will likely take a different turn, where it's not going to be AI replaces 50% of the workforce, and now they're going to lay off the other 50%, so 100% of people aren't working. No. They're going to lay off 50% of the workforce. AI is going to do its job, and then new jobs will be created. But how long does that take? That right there, we don't know. But...
And also, as far as these so-called new jobs, how many of these new jobs will be created, number one, and number two, where will those jobs go to? Because the damn show is not going to be directed towards us Jakes. Oh no. This is Esau Edom's territory. You heard?
Lawmakers say they guarantee universal basic income is going to happen at some point and to certain groups. But they haven't said when who, how much, and for how long. So those are the big questions that we are looking for answers on. But I promise you, I am going to continue to look for this. I will continue to research this. And as soon as we get information on it, I promise I'll bring you all the latest news and updates as soon.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know how much more clearer I can make it to you Jakes out there, you 2/3 mainly. Because us 1/3, we're in the know. That's number one. And number two, we're spiritually preparing for this. All right? So that's the main difference between us 1/3 and you 2/3 of Yasharallah. Okay? That's why it's better to be on the 1/3 side than the 2/3 side. Okay? Simple mathematics. All right? Because this is, welfare. This is going to be an expansion of welfare when it comes to universal basic income. And like I also mentioned, it's almost like Social Security, retirement benefits. Because let's be real, once AI truly takes effect, a whole lot of you Jakes are going to be out of work. And guess what? Y'all going to be retired. Technically, y'all going to be retired. All right? That's it. Point blank. So, I'd like to cue up a few precepts to prove my point. And these are the usual suspects, you know what I'm saying? But in a good way. Isaiah 19:14, it reads, "The Lord had mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt, which is America, modern day Babylon, to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit." Here's a point. Verse 15. "Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do." So you heard what that guy said in the video, that these, artificial intelligence, period, AI, is going to eliminate at least 50% of corporate jobs, white collar jobs. Okay? So that's what this means in Isaiah 19:15. So whether you're the top head of a corporation, or you are the fry cook at a fast food restaurant, you're going to be affected by artificial intelligence. All right? Point blank. And then we go to the book of Ecclesiastes 12:1. It reads, "Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them." Verse 2, "While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain." Verse 3, here's a point. "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble," because there's going to be a hell of a lot of trembling. Well, it's trembling now, but it's going to be even more trembling very soon. And the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few. And those that look out of the window be darkened. Woo! Okay? This is going to be the end all be all to a whole lot of you Jakes. All right? And then we'll go to the book of Jeremiah 10 and 10. This is, a precept upon precept. And it reads, but the Lord is a true Yahweh. He is the living Yahweh and an everlasting King. At his wrath the earth shall tremble, and the nations shall not be able to abide his indignation or righteous anger. Woo! That's what that word indignation means. Righteous anger. You heard? But you see, there go that word tremble in that precept. All right? So there's going to be a lot of trembling. And especially for you Jakes out there. Because you remember, that old school saying, last hired, first fired. You heard? So that's going to conclude this beautiful lesson for today. Abazah Ratazah, or Abba Ratazah, Salakia. Hopefully someone gets edification out of this. All right? And as always, all praises, honor, and the glory shall go to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham, Makakudash, Brakatam, Kwam, Yasharel, Rise Israel. And as always, Abba Ratazah, Lord willing, on to the next video. Shalom.